Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Hejin Lee with a morning update for Bitcoin. Still very dark outside here. Sun has not come up yet. But you know what? Bitcoin never sleeps. 24/7. And that is exactly how any market should be. I mean, bankers' hours for the stock market, 9:30 to 4. Unacceptable. And I think that's one of the reasons why the futures market came out to be 24 hours as well. So here is I made some quick revisions to this. Pretty much the same. I moved 3 and 4, circle 3 and 4. It goes down here, but looks better here. And I just want to now move this. Do you see a pattern? Do you see maybe a pattern that could give you a confirmation of what could come next? So when in doubt, draw lines. Like this. Beautiful. Ascending right triangle, which is bullish. And if I draw minimum target line, I draw a line that is parallel to this, to the rising line of the triangle. And then I go to the apex. The apex of the triangle is when the two lines of the triangles is the point where they intersect, right here. And I draw a vertical line right up. Boom. Precision hit. This is giving 10, 4, 6, 3. So that's what I'm going to change my target to. And I think it's no accident that that pretty much coincides well within the region of 10,254 that I had before. Now here's the important thing. As you've seen already, these are just the minimum targets. And that's what exactly usually becomes, minimum. Because price often exceeds this minimum. And I think could be raised to 10,800. And the subwaves of this fifth wave, the very last wave, could look like this. And it could well become 11,000 as well. I would not be surprised. And if we go back to this, if we go back to this, what we can then say is we can raise this 3 slightly. And the fact that it's right in line just about with this rising line for wave 3 is pretty cool. I can almost assure you that once whether it be 10254, 10,800, or 11,000, and once Bitcoin starts turning down for a correction, there will be, the bears will come out of the woodworks and start calling the top. And they'll say that it's time to sell, smart money is getting out. I find it very funny that the dumb people call the smart money. Usually the dumbest who can spot the smart money the easiest. But that's not correct. Usually the ones who are myopic, who see it only one way and want it that way, and remain inflexible and unwilling to change, are the ones who can see the top most easily. And again, I call that the innocent and the idiots, and I don't say it, I don't use those two words to be hurtful, only to be very factual, because they are innocent, or they know what they're doing, just that they're not doing it. How often have we done that? When we find ourselves trading in and out on a daily basis, but we keep losing money, we know we should stop, but we're not stopping. That's being an idiot. Now, for this morning's tidbit, secret sauce, or thought in the mind of Hejin Lee, I just want to share something with you. A couple months ago, I had put out an essay. And this essay, I had the wrong one up earlier. This essay was titled, "Is Technical Analysis a Quantum Event?" And I gave my rationale as to why I thought it was. And if you want to read it, I'll post a link to this in the summary. By time again, people ask me, and I had another comment, but Hejin, you said 5 to 8 quarters. Now you're saying 5 to 8 years or whatever time frame. It keeps changing. What's going on? Or are you just jerking us around? That's not what the comment said. But I can understand how it can feel like that. And I guess the best way to put that, and I did pretty much answer that person in the same way, is that I think technical analysis is a quantum event. And many smarter than I, many have tried to tame time using technical analysis. Many use Fibonacci's for time, and they are 50-50 right. In other words, they failed to tame time. And I think one of the reasons why time is so difficult to project is because time is not necessarily, and this is my only opinion, but I think I'm onto something. Time is not a reflection of sentiment like price is. So think about that. Price, as I've said, is a reflection of sentiment. It is the most direct reflection of sentiment you can get to. It is more direct and more early reflection of sentiment than news and events and fundamentals, which are also reflection of sentiment, but they are more downstream to the price, which is why Elliott Wave states that news or events will arrive to justify your price forecast. And I've also said that technical analysis is not perfect because of the Plato's very famous saying, "What are words but symbols of symbols? Hence, twice removed from reality." And this statement is really no different than Plato's allegory of the cave. If you haven't heard that story, look it up and read it. And therefore, if technical analysis is symbols of symbol, you're measuring price, which is a symbol of sentiment, which itself is in a way a symbol of thought. Plato, and I believe Socrates, also believed that there is a state beyond what we see here that is changeless and perfect and forever, eternal always, if you will. So technical analysis is very far removed, twice removed from reality, from thought. Now, what I'm saying is that news and events are further downstream. There's a sequential event. Price comes first, and then news, and then events, and then the fundamentals. At the same time, Einstein was the one who said time is an illusion. He was the one who, I believe, said we are non-local beings having a local experience. Not loco, L-O-C-O, local. Well, you can call that loco if you want. Therefore, time is a quantum effect, not necessarily an effect of sentiment. So you have binary actions going, sentiment on price and time on price. And because technical analysis primarily measures price on sentiment, it cannot do a binary measurement at the simultaneously on time. People think you should be able to. People think it's so interrelated that you should be able to predict time and price. When they try to do both, they're 50-50 right. And therefore, I don't think, since time is more of a quantum event associated, quantum events, therefore, are not bound by time. So, to go back to what I was saying, when I say 5 months, frankly, I don't know the timeline. The best I can do is guesstimate. I have no technique that is reliable. There are techniques out there that claim to be able to project time. But I don't know of any reliable technique that can do so. So most difficult for me is to project time. And when I provide a time estimate, I'm guesstimating. That's the best I can do. Now, early in the morning, for those of you listening to this, it might hurt your head a little bit. But in my opinion, it takes more than an abstract mind to understand what I pretty much said. I think it takes a bit of a spiritual mind. And again, Einstein was the one who said, there is no time. There is no linear time. It's an illusion. This is Einstein. He said that everything happened all at once, in an instant. And we are only experiencing and visualizing it linearly. And he's the one, I think, who truly understood quantum events, obviously. So think about that and consider that. Next time you see me kind of being wishy-washy on time projections, now you know why. I thought I'd put this in a video instead of writing it up to put it out as fast as I can. And all of these timelines here that I put in are unreliable, hard to reproduce estimates, which is why you can have sometimes vertical moves, long moves. However, you can find some personality attributes of how the price reacts within a boundary of time. For example, the hurry up and wait syndrome. That is a very intricate interaction between price and time. And that is a personality trait of cryptos. They hurry up all of their impulse waves. They don't waste any time. But when it comes to correction, boy, do they slow down. All right, so long enough video. I hope this has been helpful. Let's see how the day price goes. See if we could hit 10,250 and maybe 10,800. Hell, maybe even 11,000. Sentiment has no boundaries. Have a good day.